Hey guys, we're going to take a quick look at how to run a Behringer P16 in-ear monitor unit that we use here at church. Alright, the P16 has 16 different inputs that you can send vocals and instruments to, and those are accessed right through these 16 buttons right here on the front. So you can select any one of those and whatever is going into that. So right here, 1 through 5, we have vocals, and this section is instruments. So if I select any one of those channels, it'll tell me what the volume level is at, and I can adjust that over here with the volume control. And there's also a quick mute feature. So if I press the volume knob here, it'll mute it, and no matter if I turn it, it won't do anything till I hit it again and unmute that channel. So I can select different channels and set how high I want my vocals and how high I want different instruments. And then over here, there's a pan feature, so I can set them more predominantly or completely in one ear or the other. Or I can set it over here, and I can do the same with other instruments and vocals. And pressing this controller actually resets it right back to the center. There's also mute button and solo button over here, so if you want to listen to one channel, or if you're trying to figure out who's making a loud sound, or there's some ground loop hum or something coming through one of the channels, you can figure that out by hitting the solo button and then going through, and you can listen to each individual channel. You can also mute certain channels, so you can see all the ones that are muted right here, and hitting that button will take the mute off. And then let's move on to the next layer. So we've gone over the channel layer. Then there's a main layer up here, the main button, and this shows you your overall volume over all these channels. I usually keep this right around 6 bars. That way it gives me a little bit more headroom down here with each of the channels. I don't have to keep them super loud. I can keep them right around 50%, and then it gives me a little bit more room if we need to, if I need to boost someone, that like maybe we have a vocalist that's not super loud, or sometimes the bass doesn't cut through super well. You can go through and have a little bit more room to boost that up. And then going up here to the top, let's go over here to the output section. There's one more layer of volume control, so you have 3 layers. There's the channel layer, there's the main layer, and then also up here at the top there's the limiter and headphone level. So the limiter kind of sets a threshold to protect your ears. I usually keep that right around 2 o'clock, and then you can set your headphone level as well. So if something's not, if your headphones are or if your earbuds are low, you want to take a look at each of the 3 different layers to make sure that that they're each outputting enough. Alright, the next piece that we'll cover on here is the EQ. Each channel can be individually EQ'd, so if you select a channel, you can adjust whether you want more bass or treble or mid frequencies on there. And then over here on the setup section, take a look at the link, group, recall, and store features. So the link feature, you can link 2 channels, an odd and an even channel that are right next to each other. So if I wanted to link channel 3 and 4, I can do that by clicking there, and then those 2 channels are linked. You'd really use that if you have maybe like a stereo keyboard in those channels, and you're not really looking to adjust that separately. You can link those 2 channels, and just by hitting them again, we'll unlink them. Then let's take a look at the group feature. That's almost identical to link, except for that you can group together multiple channels. So that'd be helpful if maybe you have like a drum kit that's set through that's taking up 4 channels on the P16, that you can individually set those volumes up and then group them together, and then to ungroup them, you just click them. The recall and store feature. So if I've got if I've got my P16 all set up to how I want to use it on Sunday, I can hit the store button and I'll hold it and I'll tell it I can save my settings to any one of the 16 different banks here. So if I want to save it to number 4, I'll press number 4 and then press it again that I want to save it there. So now my settings are saved in my saved bank 4. So if I want to recall, I can hit the recall button. I see right now that it's saved to 4. Maybe I have a setting saved in number 2. I can tell it where I want to recall from. So I can recall number 2, and that'll show up there. Or if I want to bounce back, I can hit recall and hit number 4. And then I'm back to any of the same settings that I've saved, volume-wise and EQ-wise. Alright, so that's the P16. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful.